Hey guys, Chuke here with Chuke's Outdoor. I'm continuing to tweak my Glock 20 and getting ready for this season. You know, we have more light here in Alaska. I'm getting really excited. I'll be bear hunting in just a matter of weeks now, just a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. But it's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. I have shot this Glock 20 10mm extensively. Weapon check, nothing in the mag. It's clear. Weapon is safe. I've shot the heck out of this thing for 3 days straight now in testing it, and it's driving me nuts. Now, I wanted to keep this stock. I wanted to keep the stock barrel because, you know, Glock is so reliable that, you know, just keeping everything stock seems to help. I just got this back from Glock itself. You know, they replaced a bunch of the internals. But I'm just going to break down and get a barrel. I'd like to get a KKM if I can. Here in Anchorage, they mainly have Lone Wolf around, so I'll probably get a Lone Wolf barrel. But the reason is I was having malfunctions, and I went to my favorite gun shop, and the guy said that the reason you can't shoot buffalo bore and the hard cast lead and the soft lead out of a stock Glock barrel is the particulates. They just collect in the chamber, and if you don't clean it out perfectly, it messes with the sizing. It forces the shell in there, and then it'll blow your gun up. My other buddy told me that the reason they don't is because it doesn't have the tolerance. The stock barrels, there's not as much room. They leave the tolerance a little looser, so in other words, it's a little shorter, which I don't know how that could be, but anyways, it's easier for a bullet to wiggle up the ramp and get in there. And then when you get the non-Glock barrels, it's a little tighter and they're stronger, and you know, they can hold that pressure more. So I don't know what to believe. All I know is that when this thing gets dirty, the shell gets stuck in there, and I can barely get the slide off and mess with it, and then I'm able to put it back on and rock it back. And that's happened 3 times now. Now, when I completely clean it, you know, I'll get some solvent in there. You know, I didn't scrub the chamber. That's what I'm going to try next, is I'm going to scrub that chamber with my little toothbrush tool. But I was using CLP, you know, solvent. I cleaned it really well, and then it was shooting fine the next day. So, but then after 150 rounds, it starts doing it again once everything starts building back up there. So it's driving me nuts. I am not going to be using this as a grizzly bear protection gun. If I can get it tweaked and going good when I go on my black bear hunt in 3 weeks, I'll bring it for that. But it's driving me nuts. You know, I've decided I'm going to get a Smith & Wesson 500 revolver because with my luck, I'm going to get charged by a grizzly, and this thing is going to mess up, you know, when I get attacked. Now, I do have the 460 Roland. That hasn't messed up on me, and I'll continue to use that too. But you know, I've been doing testing with a lot of this gel. Now, I've shot the heck out of this gel, and it's all cloudy. The reason is because I'm re-cooking the same gel I used as in my grizzly bear skull test. It powdered the grizzly skull, and it's been hard to get it clear because it was full of grizzly skull powder in these blocks. So I need some new gel. Which reminds me of a story. I went to see this social worker. I did a big presentation a couple weeks ago talking about a skull being powdered. And he's an inspirational speaker up here in Alaska. He has an incredible survival story. But he was down at the Russian River, and his skull was powdered. Instead of the grizzly skull getting powdered, he got in between a mom and her cubs, and she came and just like the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, mauled him, flipped him around, mauled him, and then she flipped him back around, turned her mouth sideways, and bit his face off, and opened his brain to the elements. The doctors couldn't believe he was alive, but that sow actually powdered his skull, where, you know, his skull was just powder. But anyways, I digress. So I can't find Extreme Penetrator anymore. I shot the last of my Extreme Penetrator this weekend, so I got Extreme Defender, which I'm really happy with. You know, the tests, it shows it does a little more damage with not quite as much penetration, and it's a little smaller. It's 115 grain in the 10mm. Okay, another thing interesting that happened, I've never seen this happen. It was with an Extreme Defender. It only penetrated 12 inches and the back mushroomed. Now, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen an Extreme Penetrator mushroom, but that's because it hit the table. It went in through the first 9 inches of gel. It hit the table and went into the next block, and it opened up. And actually, it was sitting on the table. I found it sitting on the table, but the back of it mushroomed, which is just crazy. It turned around backwards after the first 9 inches, didn't make it all the way through, blew out part of the table, and the back of the Extreme penetrated mushroom. So I have had some instances of these Extreme Penetrators and Extreme Defenders tumbling inside the gel, so I don't know what to think about that. I was also shooting a lot of the Critical Duty 175 grain Flex Lock from Hornady, which I like that. It feels pretty powerful. But anyways, I'll show you some of the footage from going in here. What I found interesting is I had 32 inches of ballistic gel, but because I have, I thought I ordered a big mold, but my mold was small, so I get these small bricks. It was very hard for me to shoot and get a bullet to go all the way through. I only, out of 3 days of shooting, I only was able to capture 2 bullets. One was an Extreme Defender and one was an Extreme Penetrator in these blocks. Now, I think the reason is there's a change right there. It hits air and it hits the wall of the next block. And 9 times out of 10, it goes straight down. I don't know why, but I had the bottom of my table blown out so many times. Maybe it was the angle I was shooting at, but it kept going out the bottom, which was interesting. And even with an Extreme Penetrator, I was only getting 12 inches of penetration and it would stop. Now let me see which one this is. I know one was an Extreme Penetrator and one was an Extreme Defender. So that was an Extreme Penetrator. So that's interesting. It stopped. This one, I believe, has an Extreme Defender in here. Let's see if it's smaller. No, Extreme Penetrator too. So it was stopping. In the beginning, I put some of my grizzly bear fur in the beginning of it, but it kept getting blown off. So then I just started shooting through the deals. But okay, these are both Extreme Penetrators. Interesting. Oh no, one's a Defender. One is shorter. No, they're both. No, one's a Defender. But yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, because the Defender's got the smaller head. So very interesting. And I appreciate all the comments on my shooting grip. I'm sure the limp wristing style wasn't helping. I used to do the cup under, and I was actually getting decent, I was getting actually not bad hits cupping under, but that's a horrible way to do. You don't want to cup under. So I started doing this again, but because I was trying to get the slow-mo footage on this new camera, I messed up and I stuck one finger out. So, I didn't have the best grip. I'm still working on my grip. But it was just really interesting. I shot the heck out of this ballistic gel, not because I'm doing a scientific test. I'm just trying to test the reliability. I'm just trying to shoot this Glock 20 a lot, and I'm interested to see what the penetration would be. So once I get some more clear gel blocks, I'm going to do some more of those ballistic tests. So I am going to get a new barrel in this Glock 20 and see if that helps. For some reason, it's just collecting crap in that barrel and it's malfunctioning on me, which is not good. Now I'm not going to get rid of the gun. I've fallen in love with the 10mm and especially the Glock 20. Despite all the problems with it, I really like this pistol, so I'm just going to keep tweaking it until I get it completely reliable. So let me know what you guys think. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And it's Chuke, your friend in the field.